On the last video, you probably saw that we went ahead and we're going to install the plate on the back of the transfer case to secure it to the frame. We were advised by multiple people with similar setups to avoid that mounting system since the transfer case can and will crack. Instead, now we will make a custom cross member. We're going to weld it to the skid plate, also weld some tabs on the frame, and use polyurethane bushings to hold it together.
So we're making some tabs in order to make sure that we connect the bushings from the cross member to the chassis. These tabs are going to be welded onto the chassis so that we can mount and dismount the cross member easily whenever we want to fix something or do something. Put this here, draw around it, make a little tab, something like this, but without this square shape right here, and that's it. Talk about a straight line.
So this is the final product. We believe it turned out pretty good and it's gonna hold up just fine for the application. We are gonna start by sanding down this area of the frame so we can weld the mounts that Alfredo made earlier today. Right about here, somewhere in this area, so we're gonna sand both the sides down. So this is what we're going to use to bend the tubes. This is a Harbor Freight tube bender, nothing too crazy, but it's gonna get the job done. As you can see, this is the tube that we're gonna bend. That is the center, and both of the first marks in the center are the width of the skid plate. As you can see, this was before we tack welded the bushing mounts. We ended up not using the first tube we made because it had too much of a kink in our opinion. So we decided to start from scratch, but this shows you a general idea of what we're trying to accomplish. On the second try, we attempted a different technique to avoid the tube from kinking. We slid a slightly bigger tube in diameter right on the area where the pressure was being applied by the tube bender, so the original tube won't develop a kink.
It was at this moment that he knew he fucked up.
Okay guys, so we have made a ton of progress on the crossmember and the skid plate. As you can tell, we already welded the bushings. We tacked in place the skid plate to the crossmember we did. And now, after we welded everything together, I went ahead and tacked this little plate in there. It's a 1/4-inch plate because I just want this to be as smooth as it can so we can hit rocks and it'll just slide off without it getting stuck in there. So now back to welding.
So we went ahead and made these caps to seal it off completely. We don't want any water going in here and potentially rusting it from the inside out. So yeah. So after everything is welded up on this plate, then we gotta cut the stock mounting points and get everything painted up. On here, we're just throwing a quick coat of paint. However, we plan on painting it completely the proper way. But for now, just so it doesn't rust, this will do. On the next video, once we have the truck driving, we're gonna start prepping up the axles that we're going to use for the 3-link swap. Stay tuned.